All right, man. What's up? How we doing? Good afternoon. Let's get to it. Well, as you can see, I'm long on the close of 46. You know, I was kind of hoping I'd be right on the trade when we go live. We can juice the stream stats that way, but we're sitting pretty much break even, a little bit green. That's how we sit, man. Let's see. We can hit target on this little guy. All right. So you can see 225 out. ATR currently 27, by the way. See what we can get, man. How we doing? What's up? Hope you guys are having a good day here so far, man. So, you know, since the morning, a lot of this has felt, you know, a lot of inside closes. It certainly felt sort of slow. 46 kind of got my head back in the game here because 46 is kind of a slow trade for me to put on. But, you know, I don't expect it to just work so quickly. The better, or what I should say is the quicker it works, the better always, right? But gotta manage your expectations as well. Based on the volatility of the markets. So, I don't know. Let's see. Let's see what we can put together here this afternoon. You know, ATR, it's above 25. So, like, I'm not going to complain too much about it. We can certainly try to make some money with that ATR. So I imagine that, you know, a few of you were probably sitting long when bar 29 hit, right? Yeah, probably at least a few of you. You know what? It's okay. That's why we always say, guys, news is 50-50. When it's unexpected, especially, you don't know. There's no way to know that unexpected news is coming. That's what makes it unexpected. And when it does come, it's 50-50 as far as the market is concerned. That's a very good thing, by the way. Right? Because if it was any other way, then you wouldn't be able to swallow that whole in your stats. Because when you make the sample size bigger, a few times here and there you get caught to the red side in news, your stop takes care of it. A few times here and there, oh man, I left extra room, the news went in my favor, I made more money than I really should have without the news on that trade. It just swallows up into your data, and you know what? Maybe you end up even a little bit better off if you're consistently executing with the habit that I tend to execute with, which is leave quite a bit more room to the take profit side just in the event that we get news, again, 50-50 directionally. And then drive manually as far as real profit taking. You don't have to do that. That's what I choose to do. All right, so, you know, bar 47, not too much going on 47, 48 here. Volatility is slowing down a tad. Hopefully we can, you know, we're coming back into 1 o'clock here, 34 minutes. Usually around that time, things start to pick up again a little bit. So let's see, hopefully it will. Hopefully we can get that ATR back up into the 30s. I don't think we're done for the day. As far as market moving. My God, is it ever slow? Holy shit. It's alright, man. Can't always be partying. Though I wish we could. 75 ATR every day. John, Roy, Ed, Taz, Jonathan, Bartlett, Boring Trader. What's up, guys? How are we? Is anybody else sitting long right now? Pharaoh Friday, that's right. These lines here, I'm in Ninja Trader. This is, I don't remember. I think this is the default setup in Ninja. Maybe I changed the colors to show up a little better on stream. But I made them a little thicker too, so you could see them a little better. That's about it. I mean, I don't know. These lines on TradeAvate, I don't know if you can get them. But I gotta tell you, I really do like having these. A lot of brokers, at least that I've traded with in the past, they don't show you any indication that you're in a position on the chart, which is, I was very used to that. But by the time I started using Ninja, I was like, oh, this is kind of nice actually. All right, there's close bar 48. You see how 48 closed inside the wick high of 47? So there's nothing I can do as far as my stop is concerned. ATR here is 24. I'm going to go for a full ATR. You know, the market's so damn slow that I'm not really, I don't know, in the mood on this trade to sit and scalp out for a half ATR. Plus, you know, probability-wise, I know a little bit better. I know that the wick high of 35 and the wick low of, we'll say 40, that could turn into a trading range. So to clean up the math a little bit, I'm going to go for a full ATR here, which currently is 24 points, but could come down. Or rise, of course. This is laid back trading. Slow in the driver's seat. I know what I'm doing. Just hang out and wait, let it do its thing. No big deal. Cold? What's up, my man? Christian, how we doing? Sam, good afternoon. Doing well, brother. Can't complain. Chat, I took a short. Am I cooked? Not necessarily. Look, okay, let me explain something. You guys already, I think, know this internally, but let me reiterate it. I can be long, and you can be short. And we can both make money, or we can both lose money, or one of us can win it when the other loses, and vice versa. It all comes down to trade management, and this, what I'm saying, is particularly true in a trading range or in more of a range market in general. Okay, so if you're ever in a live stream chat, this one included, though if someone tries to come at your throat, they'll just get fucking banned by a mod. So we don't do that shit around here. We don't deal with lames. We're here to provide for our families, not fucking talk shit on the internet. Okay? Like a fucking loser. But the probability, I think, gets greatly overestimated by beginners of being right. So they'll be sitting long, more of a beginner trader. Almost everyone does this. It's particularly true for those with kind of bigger egos coming into this who don't have a lot of experience yet. And anybody who is short, that threatens their confidence in their long position. So they just go at your fucking throat for being short, ignoring the fact that the probability is never good enough to the long side. Even if it's what they consider one of their best trades, it's never so certain in terms of the mathematical probability that they should feel confident talking such mad shit to anyone short. 60, 70%, all else held equal, including reward to risk, to make the explanation simpler. So when people do that, it just, you should understand, if someone's talking shit to you for sitting short, they say, wow, you're a fucking idiot. You should understand they really have no clue what they're looking at as far as probability, because if they were correct in saying you're an idiot for being short, the market would have already imploded, because the reason the price is what it currently is because the bid and the offer have combined at that midpoint, around that midpoint, I should say, as an agreement between buyers and sellers, which literally is what the market is. So no one is ever so stupid for being long or for being short. The time that I would argue is the silliest time to be in a position at all is if the market is in a straight up super low volatility single bar sideways trading range. If someone enters then, they say, I have a ton of edge on this trade, I'd say, I don't know about that. That's the only time. Everything else is goofy as all hell and shows your lack of experience if you have such high confidence to the point where you're willing to bully people on the other side. It just reflects on you, big dog. It's goofy. Stop doing that if you do that shit. Everyone who knows what they're doing knows what you're doing. Let's see if this turns into a big sideways range here, rather than the bigger overarching look. ATR down beneath 25, now sitting at 24 on the ATR. Chat, thank you for the advice. Just started 4 days ago. Shit, man. The early days. Oh, gotta love it. I have no idea what's going on, not gonna lie. It's okay. Why would you? Why would you have any fucking clue what's going on? You're 4 days in. Having the expectation that you would have any clue at all what's going on is just silly. That's based on nothing but ego, right? So say, okay, you know, I'm good at most of what I do, but I have no fucking clue what's going on. Why would I? Because I'm 4 days in. I would encourage you to ignore the people who talk shit. They're only upset about trading in general, I should say. They're only upset because they haven't made it work yet. And the only reason they're discussing it is because at one point, or still currently, they wanted to make it work but have been unable to do so. So ignore them. It has zero relevance to your journey at all. Understand that in order to make a living at this, you have to have positive expected value over a mid and long-term sample size. And I would encourage you, based on my own experience, to ignore most indicators and go straight to the source, which is price action. Focus on context, make logical decisions, stay disciplined, patient, and stoic, and I think you'll do very well. Desensitize yourself to as big of numbers as possible, as early as possible as well. It's a big one. So there's the close of Big Bar 50. Big Bar 50. A little guy here today. Small bear body. ATR down to 23. Keep watching here. Chat, I'm up $3. Should I close it? Green is green, baby. Oh, God. If you trade by the motto, green is green, you got problems incoming. Sounds really great in theory. It breaks about a week and a half in. What a calm little afternoon here, huh? So, again, I'm still looking to get a full ATR out of this trade. Just let it take its time, see if it can do its thing. Ed, I will participate for now. We'll see how this trade plays out, man. Question, Nico, I put on a trade and my ATM did have a stop loss. ATM is the, like strategy, they call it in NinjaTrader. You can have automatic orders go out after you get a fill, etc. It did have a stop loss, but when my trade went through NinjaTrader, it didn't activate the stop loss. Is that a bug? Okay, now I have a question for you. Do you mean it didn't put the stop loss out, or do you mean your stop loss got hit, but it didn't fill? All right, there's a close of 51 into the open of 52. ATR now sitting 21. It didn't put it out. I don't know then. I don't know. Do you have a tick value set of how far away it should go out as compared to your position average? By the way, if you're wondering, well, what would have been the answer if it hadn't triggered? The answer to that would have been probably you used a stop limit order as your stop loss instead of a stop market order. If you're newer, by the way, you will see me use a lot of stop limits to enter trades. And one of the biggest questions for newer traders is, hey, what the hell's the difference between a stop limit order and a stop market order? How can you use a stop loss order to enter a trade? Because a stop limit isn't really meant to manage risk. A stop limit, at least in my world, is way more commonly used, basically only used, to enter trades, whereas a stop market order is the only type of stop order you should be using as your stop loss. Because stop limits can get skipped over, which is unacceptable when you're looking to manage your risk. ATR sitting 21, by the way. Go on now, Bulls. Keep that thing pushing, man. We've got work to do. This is real slow. That's okay. You know, I don't mind when it's slow. Well, I mean, I guess I mind a little bit. If it's gonna be slow, I don't know. We can deal with it. Nothing wrong with some laid-back trading if you're forced to. this line on my chart, that is a 20 EMA. And it is bottom of the barrel relevance in my world. You take it away from me, nothing will change. It's up there because it's pretty and because it keeps us from getting dizzy looking at the chart. That's it. Though I will reference it every once in a while. All right, there's 52, rolling over into the open of 53. ATR now sitting at 20. Oh, man. Oh, man, we got to break out of this thing. Chat. Your horizontal scaling is starting to sink in. They say I've been getting payouts on 2 Apex accounts. Passed 3 more evals last night on a mission to get 20, 1,500 a week times 20, loving it. Yeah, horizontal scaling, guys, in the prop firm world. I'm sure I'm not. I guess I really wouldn't know. But, like, this is the way to do it. Like, I don't really understand why everyone isn't telling you this. The way to scale your prop trading is horizontally. You do not scale up the size per account, because then you just fucking blow it up when you lose 2 trades in a row, which the best trader in the world is going to lose 2 trades in a row or 4 trades in a row fucking constantly. That's the way it goes. So scale it horizontally. You can eat that drawdown and still make a ton of money. It's the obvious solution to trading prop with edge. Have you actually been paid from Apex? They say I have 6 payouts that have been approved but have not received the money yet. Dude. Yes, they pay. Lots. The way it goes at Apex, TakeProfitTrader is daily payouts. Okay, they approve it, you click the button, it's in your bank in like 5 seconds. At least that's my experience. At Apex, you submit it, they approve it, and then it can take anywhere from a day or two to I've had it take 2 weeks to have the money hit the account. I mean, what are you going to do in the meantime? Sit and stare at your bank account, or are you going to keep trading and working and setting yourself up? They pay, dude. I don't know what else to tell you. I've never had an issue getting payouts from Apex. I've been denied like once, maybe twice, and it was my fault. That was before the changes they made too. It was because I broke a rule that I wasn't aware of. And that was on one account, like one or 2 times. Oh shit. All right, bulls. Got a little volatility coming on in. ATR 22. Go on now, bulls. A little bit of hesitation here. Trevor says, Nico took my first payout request this morning. Good work. By the way, guys, through experience at Apex, you know what I've learned? Make the payout process as efficient as possible. Because when you have one, you know, that's requested but hasn't been approved or whatever yet, a lot of people choose not to trade those accounts. And I think that that's smart because I operate by the mentality of, hey, when you have the money in prop trading, you take it. And then you scale horizontally and it gets fucking big anyway. It doesn't matter. Just there's too many people who, you know, ego, they're like, I have to take the max payout, so they don't take it. Or, you know, they'll trade when they have one requested because they can't, you know, not trade one account. This is another reason to scale horizontally. Because then you always have accounts to trade. And if you have different start times on the funded accounts, then you always have accounts to trade. All right, hold up. Can't do two things at once here. ATR 2021, coming in close. Well, still waiting here. So what I was going to say about Apex is, if you know you're going to have a payout or 10 to request tonight, or whatever day, go in the later half of the closed hour, right? The in-between period. The later half, somewhere between 30 and the new top of the hour, depending on your time zone when the market reopens, the futures market for the evening, right? Go in that half-hour window, and you can just chill. You can fucking do other work, refresh it, and sometimes, you know, it'll be a little bit later in that window, but it's usually around like the 45 area. The payout will be accessible, and then you just request it. And I have noticed when I do it that way, I don't know if I'm like first in line or something, but they tend to get approved quicker. At least historically, that's been the case. Obviously, they've made some changes recently, so I don't, you know. But that process seems to be the way to go. Oh, come on now, you bulls! You're killing me! So we wait. Yeah. Chat. Yeah, the payouts were approved in about 5 minutes. Yeah. Once requested, but that was about 12 days ago and no funds yet. I guess it just takes a while. The approval process has only gotten faster. That's the point, since they made the changes. But the sending the money process seems to be about the same. Okay, that has always been the more waiting period. See, there used to be a waiting period to even get it approved, but Apex has been, you know, to my understanding, trying to make that better, because what people were always the most pissed off about was waiting to get payouts approved at Apex. But once it's approved, dude, don't worry about it. I've never had a payout get approved at Apex and not had the money hit my account. Now, something to consider, you want to keep good records, okay? Because the way Apex does payouts, sometimes, because, you know, usually you'll have multiple payouts to varying amounts requested at once that you're waiting on. Sometimes it'll hit your account one at a time. A lot of times it'll hit it in a chunk. So if you have 8 payouts requested that all got approved, you might see 5 of them come in $1 amount, and then the next 3 come in a second dollar amount, like a few days later or whatever. So just make sure you're keeping good records, because the way that it hits your account can get a little bit confusing, because they tend to lump them sometimes, but like not always. So just make sure you're keeping good records, and you make sure you're getting all the money that you're owed. Oh man. All right, ATR still sitting about 20. Yes, sir. Very relaxed trading here. This is trading in the driver's seat. This is what I mean. I just really don't care that much what happens on this trade. That's the position you want to be in, dude. We got like little wiggles going on. Back and forth here. Of course, my risk is managed below the wick low of bar 46. So far, the bulls have had me 22-ish points in the money. At the time, that was not even a full ATR, so I'm doing exactly what I need to be doing here. There's the rollover 55 into bar 56. Alright, we get the wick low of 46. See if the bears want that. Well, the market is real slow. Since I know you're not doing anything else right now, I'd appreciate it big time if you can go ahead and hit the like button on the live stream. Or dislike, big dog. The market's got you down, then take it out on me, my man. I'm cool with that. It's a miracle at this point the ATR is hanging on to 20, I'll tell you what. Well, that right there is why the stop goes beneath the wick low of 46. It's no coincidence. Back to break even here on the trade. All right, there's the rollover, bar 56 closing into the open of bar 57. Let's see if the bulls give us. All I need is one push, man. ATR is sitting 19, and we'll call it 20. Chat says, like how calm you are when you trade. When I place a trade, I'm shivering. It can be low size or big, doesn't matter. I think it probably matters a little bit. I think it matters a little bit. I bet you feel more on 5 minis than you do on 1 micro. At the same time, you know, talk to me in a number of years. I think over time, you become so certain in your mid and long-term outcome that you build a confidence level that's very difficult to fake. And if possible at all, I think emotionally. And it comes to a point where it's like you've been through so many trades at this point that you know that if you do your job over time, you'll get the result that you're after. So it just doesn't really fucking matter anymore. Now, not to say I'm not going to have fun on trades. I like yelling and screaming at the bears and shit, but like each individual trade, I think a lot of times, a lot of people in the chat care more than I do, which is obviously a fucking problem for them. All right, we'll see if the bears can take out the wick low 46. They were unable to previously. See if they can grab it now. ATR, I cannot believe ATR is still sitting at 21. All right, 45 seconds out here to the close of 57. See if the bears can take the wick low 46. I'm sorry, 57 and 46. All right, cut that there. Let the copier flatten here. Those are ghost positions, by the way. That always happens in Ninja. It's a Ninja Trader issue. I cannot believe that they haven't fixed it yet, but my copier takes care of it, so I'm cool with that. All right, let's see if there's anything else we can grab here. Oh, hopefully the market won't slow down much more than that. We kind of capped out to the downside at maybe 19 ATR. I'd prefer to stay at least in the 20s if we can. Alright, bears. Now, if we zoom out, actually, let's take a look at the full day. Now, the one thing that I'd be keeping an eye on here, I would probably call this just a big-ass wedge. And with the volatility ATR at 22, okay? If the bears could give me a nice bear continuation sequence closing beneath the wick low of 40 would be great. The one thing, while I would like that to happen, the one thing that I would need to consider is I'm kind of taking a bet at that point at the expansion of volatility when this very well could just become a thing. Right? When volatility gets low, it complicates a lot of looks. That's okay, you just have to consider it. And then do your best to do the logical thing. Whether that's putting something on or holding off when you do get a setup. Everything we just talked about, volatility being low, the problems that potentially arise with a continuation sequence down toward here, all that being the case, right now I would be very happy to bet again on the range, which means get long for a limit order reversion, not scalp, but more like trade. Could turn into a scalp, but more like a trade. And just use the wick low of 40. I'd love to do that. Basically bet against massive volatility expansion, and if we get that, the bright side is, well, then I get stopped out on kind of a moderate to small size trade, and all of a sudden I have new opportunity anyway. So let's just see here if 58 can roll over into 59, which is happening here in a second. There it is. And I'll see if 59 wants to pull in a bit, make the risk more reasonable for me. Alright, well, while I wait to see if we can get that, I am gonna grab coffee. I'll be right back. Give me 2 minutes, big dog. All right, what's up? Welcome back. Now, you know what is an interesting thought here is I'm sitting here looking at this and I'm like, I do think it's higher probability that we pull back into the full day's range based on what the volatility is doing than take out the wick high of 29 and just burst out into a big trend. So an idea would be to just fade the market for a swing, risk the wick high at 29, and I could look to bet against an attempt, I should say, at a trend. That is quite logical, I will say. Let's keep watching, see how things develop. All right, we got about 3 minutes left here on bar 60. I gotta tell you, it's a miracle ATR is even holding on to 20. Yeah, I mean, clearly the issue right now is that the context is big push off the morning, and now the context is what? Effectively just a big bull wedge. A very soft one, though. It's not aggressive by any means. I mean, this we could sit in this wedge for another hour, no problem. Ideally, we wouldn't, right? But... Okay, in the chat right now, if you have a position, put L for long, put S for short, put an F in the chat if you're flat. Okay, I want to get a feel for how everyone's sitting right now looking at this big, soft bull wedge. Holy shit, I'm seeing a mixed bag. A lot of flats, actually a lot of longs, which makes sense. A few shorts here and there. Okay, interesting. You know, the thing here is, when it's so soft, you know, I'm willing to take a trade, right? But the problem is when it's so soft, you know, the probability just can't be so great. That doesn't mean that it's impossible to find edge. You can find some. But it's not, you know, this is not comparable at all to some massive bear trend. That was a little wiggle. Did we just get a little something? And by the way, I've talked about this sort of thing a lot. When you can start making a whole bunch of different arguments, right? What you really got to be careful of. This one's a little bit different because it's been so long-lived. And this has been so many bars. I mean, we're seeing this back from bar like, and you could argue bar 4. Okay, but when that's the case, a lot of times it'll make your life a hell of a lot easier if you just look at it and say, maybe, right? You can make so many arguments. You can make a very soft bull wedge argument. You can, of course, make the early sideways trading range argument if this pulls down deeper. All of a sudden, it's like, yeah. You can make the wedge in general argument without a bias, right? The collapsing one, whatever you like to call that. Sure, you can make that too. Usually when you can make so many arguments, the answer that I like to stick with is trading range. Trading range. Make your life easier. That's a good idea, actually. All right, power hour starting here in 25 minutes. Let's run a poll here. I'm only going to run it for a few minutes to avoid too much bias from the charts as we get more data, of course. All right, bar 62, 4 minutes out here. Bears stepping in, trying to get something done. You remember that conversation we had earlier, right? About that wedge using the wick low of 40. I'm actually still looking at that, believe it or not. I get it. When this starts to happen, it's really easy to look at that and say, oh, huge bear breakout coming, right? It's really easy to look at it and say that. Most of the time, you're not going to get a huge bear breakout. Market's trying to make you believe that you're going to get it. So I look at this, and I, boom, look at it like a limit order reversion trade using the wick low of what? Bar 40. And I bet on low volatility range trading because we're not even into power hour yet. And we don't even have any kind of confirmation, of course, because we're not there yet. That power hour is going to pick up. ATR has been holding on to the 20s, low 20s, maybe very high teens briefly for the last little while. So I'll manage this guy bar by bar if needed. In the meantime, we'll see if we can get a fade back up into the trading range. ATR is 22. Half reasonable start, bulls. Lots more work to do, man. All right, there's the open of bar 63 here. Range is the context currently. Low volatility trading range. ATR sitting at 20. Three minutes left here on bar 63. ATR sitting at 21. Minute 35 out here, and the close is 63. There's the open to bar 64. All right, let's see if the Bears got it. Now, you know, if they try, the Bulls are likely to step in regardless and try to keep this trading range. ATR is still sitting at 22, so I'm going to manage my risk here below 40 if the Bears take it. But then from there, I got to watch to see how the Bulls react to that attempted break of the wick low of 40. Because you know they're not going to take it kindly. All right, cut it. And 3.5 minutes till 64 closes. Got to let my copier flatten. There we go, flat. And watch how 64 closes up. And then I got to watch 65, man. Because I don't buy it yet. All right, 2 minutes here till 64 closes up. You see this? You see this? This hesitation out of the Bears? Range, man. Range. You cannot be sold on a trend until it really is in front of your face. I mean, look at this. 64 closing inside the wick low of 40. So now I got to watch, 65. And see if 65 can leave me any more convinced, because 64 definitely can't. Question, have you tried using footprint candles with your strat? Seems like it would mix well with the way you trade. I use time-based candles. Look, guys, it's the same data. It just changes how it presents it to you. So I think if you have selected a chart to use, I don't mean a time frame. Time frames, like, I'm all over the place with 5 as my home base. Not all over the place. That's a huge over-exaggeration. I'll go from the 5, maybe the 2, maybe you'll throw in a 3-minute, a 1-minute, fine, maybe. A 15-minute, sure. But 5 is my home base. I think a lot of traders, you know, they watch too many videos, this and that. And all of a sudden they're sold that the reason they're not profitable is because they don't use so-and-so charts. Oh, duh. I've been using a 5-minute. I should be using so-and-so charts. How dumb of me. That's the answer. No, it's not. It's the same fucking data. Shiny object syndrome. Focus on the real problem, which is having an edge over the long term. Not today, not on this trade, not even over the next few days. Focus on being green at the end of the month and the end of the quarter. And the only way to do that is to have a real edge, which is not going to come from changing nothing except for your charts that you trade. I mean, fundamentally, that's a very silly thought process, right? Because it's the exact same data. All right, bar 65. See this, you get 63, 64, 65 as a doji, 66 takes out the wick high of 65 and attempts to take out the wick high of 64. Range, man, until it's not. Right? Until you're clearly wrong. I gotta keep thinking range. Bang my head against the wall. Okay, 52 seconds here till the close of 66 into the open of 67. I'm actually watching the close 66 here. See how it closes up. Got that wick high of 64. Which is very interesting. Well, go on now, bulls! Inside close, gotta hold off. Watch 67. We'll see if we end up with a sideways range here, by the way. ATR 21. You know, the good news here is that ATR is not tanking down into the mid and low teens. So that is the official start of Power Hour, by the way. Okay. I'm pretty interested in 67. Give me 2 minutes. I'll be back before this bar closes up. I may have something I got to put on here. All right. 45 seconds. And I'll see what 67 brings here, man. ATR sitting around 22, 23. All right. And since we are in a big trading range, we're still in the lower third. Got that 20 EMA coming up. That's fine. We've been all around that today. I'm not too concerned with that 20. Now, the counter argument is, of course, hey, does this turn into a soft bear channel? There's always a counter argument on every trade. You should be looking at that first. Okay, now, let's watch how this closes up. 67, bit of a wick up top. So what I'm going to do, hit it with a limit order if I can get a fill, and I'm going to risk the wick low of 64. There we go. Beauty. All right. Sitting long, baby. Well, go on now, bulls. Whole lot more work to do than that. Slow and steady. ATR 21, 22. Yeah. Looking more like a full R here on this trade. Alright. Well, not too bad there, bulls. Alright, we got 23 seconds out here until the close up here of bar 68. And what I will do is zoom in because I may have to move my stop. See if the bulls close this up and take out their own wick high on the rollover. No take out of the wick high yet. Five seconds. Wow, interesting. Okay, so the bulls are not going to be able to take out their wick high, which means I got to leave my stop as is. Alright, bulls. Let's keep that pushing, bulls. 255 out from the close of bar 69. See if the bulls can put anything together here. Got a full R as my target. Okay, minute 24 out to the rollover here. About 9 points out from target. 8, 10-ish. .38 seconds out. This may be a multitask rollover. We will see. I'm going to take it one step at a time. I'm so close to target. Looking for 1R. And I'll watch the rollover here, see if it hits target. If not, then I will see if I have to move my stop. They have not taken out the wick high of 69 yet. No takeout of the wick high. So back to driving manually here. Now, biggest concern here, you have this area of interest up here. All I need is a kiss in to hit target. But that is the, I suppose, number one concern is some sideways action right up as we press into there. The reality is, though, I really don't need much of a press. Well, damn, bulls! Let's finish this thing, man! Six points out. They took me within 3 ticks. ATR sitting 22. Bit slow. Okay, we got bar 70 about to roll over here. Into the open of 71 there. All right, Bulls. They've been teasing me on this one for 12 minutes. I don't need too much more work done here. All right, now I'm going to set my target at target so I don't miss it. And I will stop driving manually here because if we take a pop through, coming into that area of interest, I don't want to miss the fill. So I will go hands off at 1R. You see how close it got? Hey man, that'll happen. It'll happen. Give me a little pop, Bulls! All right. Full R hit there. Target. Let my copier flatten me. And I am flat. Beautiful. Okay, now that we're back in this area of interest, you gotta chill out and watch, because if you zoom out, a lot of times what will happen is you'll come back up, spend some time around here, and then either stay sideways into the close, which we're kind of running out of time here. 35 minutes out from the close, 25 minutes out from the 3:50 Eastern time algo, right? Mac, my man, have a good weekend. Right. $72 coming up into that high. High of day is the wick high of 29 right here. So you know, with all this interest up here, single bar sideways trading range back here, effectively close to the same thing here, failed break, right? Single bar sideways range throughout here. You know, it wouldn't be surprising if we got it again. By the way, guys, hey, code BIG, B-I-G, 40% off the rip at TakeProfitTrader. And if you use code BIG at sign up, when you pass your test, everyone else has to pay a $130 activation fee. You don't, big dog. They activate that shit for free. They say, oh, you use code BIG? My bad, it's free. Which is obviously great. Don't pay that activation fee. Don't do it. All right, minute 20 out, by the way, till close up bar 72. Bernard says, use code BIG. Passed your eval today. Tremendous work. Now it's time to get to it come Monday, huh? In the funded. All right, guys, I'll tell you what, man. Slow little Pharaoh Friday. Hopefully you were able to get a little bit of work done, man. I'll tell you guys what. I will see you Monday. Okay, chill out a little bit. Enjoy yourself this weekend. Your job is not to tweak out. Market's closed, homeboy. Your job is to stay fresh, rest up, be ready for Monday. All right, hopefully we get some volatility pouring back in. It's been a few weeks of lower volatility. Yesterday was a tremendous day. Yesterday was really a good day. I think all the rest of the days have been kind of slow. You know, but that's okay. That's part of it. That's part of it. I've been seeing a whole lot of people blow up. Ram traders have not been. Take it as you will. All right, guys. See you Monday, man. Have a good one.